Good Saturday morning, everyone. We're reading from the Magick of Aleister Crowley, Handbook of the Rituals of Thelema, and we were talking about the Thelemic divine names, or the holy words and divine names of Thelema, because those are the names that are and words that are used in the new amended rituals, amended to conform with the Thelemic, with the new Aeon formula. So we're picking up part 2 of chapter 5 right now. But I have to tell you first off and announce that tomorrow, Sunday, I won't be here with you tomorrow, or at least hopefully I'll be here, but I won't be uh, joining you and doing a reading tomorrow. We're going to skip tomorrow because Constance and I both are getting our second shot tomorrow, our second vaccination. So, and it happens that our appointment is in the morning, and so you will get a respite, but I think we'll finish off this little section today, and starting Monday, we will talk about Liber 25, the Star Ruby ritual in earnest. So there's that. I had to make that announcement. So don't worry if you tune in tomorrow and I'm not here. But anyway, there was a footnote prior to this section. Remember, we did the traditional rituals of the pentagram just a few days ago to sort of set us up for the discussion of how the new Thelemic pentagram rituals have been amended. So we talked briefly about the traditional rituals of the pentagram, the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, and the greater greater ritual of the hexagram, pentagram. And then usually a magician, after they master the pentagram rituals, move on to the hexagram ritual because it tends to expand the mind from thinking about standing on a flat earth to identifying with the sun. It's a mind expansion move from the pentagram to the hexagram ritual. And in a footnote, I said, my original plan for the format of this book was to introduce the hexagram rituals at that point for the benefit of the novice. I reconsidered so as to continue without interruption the train of thought established in the previous chapter. My apologies to the beginning students who may wish to now turn to part 1 of chapter 6. That's where we talk about the hexagram rituals, and briefly acquaint themselves with the traditional hexagram rituals before continuing on. So I thought I'd just do that. Okay, so yesterday we talked about, on these Thelemic holy words, and divine names, we talked about Nuit, Hadit, Rahur Kuit, Therian in Babylon as Hokmah and Bina and Shiva and Shakti. And that's where we left off. And today we're starting on page 78. And we're talking about the holy name Aiwass. I-A-W-A-S-S. At least that's one spelling of it. See Liber L, Vel Legis, chapter 1. An alternative spelling to Aiwass is A-I-W-A-Z. he identifies himself as the minister of Hur Par Krat. Now remember, Horus has two aspects. Horus is twins. He's one god, but he's twins. Rahur Kut, or Kuit, the active principle, and Hur Par Krat, the passive. So Aiwass identified himself as the minister of Hur Par Krat. Praetor-human intelligence who dictated the 3 chapters of Liber Al Vel Legis. Aiwass was considered the messenger of the gods of the Aeon of Horus. Crowley would eventually identify Aiwass as his own holy guardian angel. I was told by both Israel Regarde and Grady L. McMurtry that Crowley acknowledged Aiwass in the Kabbalistic cross portion of the pentagram rituals, which he taught to everyone. So at the Abbey of Thelema in Sicily, Crowley taught his students to do the Kabbalistic cross by going Ata, and then touch the heart and go Aiwass. Now, and then touch the genitals and say Malkuth, Vigabura, Vigadula, La Olam Aum. Now, that was the name of Crowley's holy guardian angel, which he placed on the Kabbalistic cross over his heart, over the heart chakra. That's where the holy guardian angel, that's the level of consciousness that's activated, stimulated. You exist in union with your holy guardian angel in a fully activated heart chakra. But he said, when you find out the name of your holy guardian angel, and your angel will tell you its name, then you replace Aiwass in your own private versions of the pentagram ritual. So if your holy guardian angel's name is Fred, so Ata Fred, Malkuth, Figabur, okay. So, touching the forehead, say Ate, or Ata, unto thee. Touching the heart, say Aiwass. Touching the genitals, Malkuth, the kingdom. Touching the right shoulder, say Vegubura, and the power. Touching the left shoulder, say Vegudula, and the glory. Clasping the hand upon the breast, say Le Olam, Amen. To the ages, Amen. So that's the little note on Aiwass. The next divine name, Pan, P-A-N, Greek for all. Originally the lusty and mischievous rustic god of Thracian shepherds. His audacious and colorful personality captured the imagination of the entire Hellenistic world and established for Pan a permanent place in Greek mythology. Pan is, however, more than a playful imp. In the ancient myths, one can see an underlying profundity in his escapades that hint that Pan may be a deity of a far greater order than his Olympian contemporaries. His name suggests that he is the great all, the God who transcends the gods. The, quote, comedy of Pan, unquote, is the singular reality of life itself. For those of us who have not yet achieved the levels of illumination necessary to perceive this greater reality, life is a dizzying mixture of pleasure and pain, joy and sorrow. Finding one's true will is the key to embracing, then transcending these dualities and becoming an ecstatic, enthusiastic player in the great comedy of Pan. Eopan, spelled I-A-I-O, Eopan, is the traditional invocation of Pan. The I is the linga, joined with the O, which is the yoni. It's a simple yet explicit invitation to the God who transcends duality to couple with the devotee. It's Eopan is almost like saying, come and get me. The next name is Ankh of Nakansu. Ankh of Nakansu. Sometimes the off and the N are just shown as F's and N's. Ankh of Nakansu. See Liber Alvel Legis, chapters 2 and 3. Ankh of Nakansu, or Ankh of Nakansu, was an Egyptian priest of the 25th dynasty. Now, Crowley, in the early days, misidentified it as the 26th dynasty, but advances in Egyptology timing puts him at the 25th dynasty. He was a real life, I'm going to digress here. He's a real historical character. As a matter of fact, his mummy, I believe, is on display in Chicago. He was sort of a counselor to several administrations of his day. So he's a historical character. We even find him referenced in Budge. And that was one of the reasons why his stele, which otherwise was unremarkable as an artifact, so that's why his stele was on display at the Bulak Museum. Now, on the stele, that's Ankh of Nakansu. So this is his funeral stele. So this is sort of a cartoon of him in the underworld, greeting his Lord and Master. Okay. The Stele of Revealing is a funeral tablet of Ankh of Nakansu, who reportedly painted it himself upon stuccoed wood. He is depicted on the stele standing at a table of offerings before the god Rahur Kuit. That's the table of offerings. Crowley claimed that as Ankh of Nakansu, in a previous incarnation, he was responsible for initiating the Aeon of Osiris. The next word is Lashtal, spelled L-A and then S-H. It's a sheen, not a samak. L-A-S-H-T-A-L. So L-A at the front of the word, A-L at the end of the word, and shit in the center, or sht. If you say shit and everyone laughs, then you go sht. See the essay following Liber 5. It says on page 100, so I'm going to get out of this shit conversation. The next word is agape, or agape, A-G-A-P-E. It means love in Greek. And in Greek Kabbalah, it adds up to 93. Big number in Thelema. The next word is, I'll spell it for you, A-U-M-G-N. Aum. It's the thelemic expansion of Om, O-M, or A-U-M. The creative vibration that sustains the universe. By replacing M with the compound letters M-G-N, which adds to 93, Crowley felt the word more accurately represented the true process of the cycle of the universe, whereas Om or Aum closes it off. Aum keeps it going. So it goes like that. One of the first dates I took Constance on when we were in high school was I took her to the power plant. There's a dam north of Columbus and a hydroelectric power plant with 3 great generators. And I discovered the place. It was made in the 30s, and it looked like a Art Deco temple. There was marble floors, and it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And nobody ever went up there because it just sort of runs itself, you know. And I discovered it because I was one of the early skateboarders, and I had got a skateboard, and I loved the smooth marble floors to skateboard on. Well, anyway, I found this place. And on our first date, our first high school date, I took Constance skateboarding up at the power plant. And when you walk in there, these 3 generators are going, like that. But I digress. The next word is vialv. Excuse me for a second. Vialv, spelled F, sort of F. In English, it looks like F. F-I-A-O-F. So it's Iao with an F in front and back. But it's more than an F. It's not quite an F. The thelemic expansion of Iao, just like Aum, it was an expansion of Aum. Vialv is an expansion of Iao. Spelled, okay, in Hebrew it's spelled Vav, Yod, Aleph, Oyin, Vav. I still got a power plant in my throat. So that's how it's spelled in Hebrew, and it adds to 93. And in Greek, it's spelled Phi, Iota, Alpha, Omicron, Phi. And it also adds to 93 with Greek Kabbalah. By adding a Phi as a prefix and a suffix of Iao, Crowley considered it to be a proper hieroglyph of the ritual of self-initiation in this Aeon of Horus. Finally, the word we're going to talk about is abrahadabra. Now, I posted on my page here a little version of a pentagram with A's, surrounded by A's. And when you think about it, a pentagram is just 5 A's. Those are the points. And a hexagram. So the pentagram has all the A's of abrahadabra, and the hexagram has the other 6 other letters on it. So, and you put both of those together, the 5 equals 6, the macrocosm of the microcosm, and the you and your holy guardian angel, you put them together, and the word that expresses that mix-up, that wonderful divine shuffle, is abrahadabra. The great magic word of the Aeon of Horus. Volumes of commentaries could be written on this word alone, so I'll not project even the pretense of thoroughness in my comments. References to abrahadabra are found throughout Crowley's works, but the reader is especially encouraged to study an essay upon number found in Liber 777, or in 777. That's the book of correspondences and tables, and it's available everywhere. You really should have it in your library if you don't, because you'll go back to it over and over to look up numbers for gematria and for just other basic Kabbalistic correspondences. It'll help you understand your tree of life. But back to abrahadabra. Briefly, it's 11 letters, 5 identical and 6 diverse. They're illustrative of the great work accomplished. It joins that which is above with that which is below, the microcosmic world of 5 to the macrocosmic world of 6. It enumerates to 418, the same as the Hebrew letter chet, or cheth, it looks like cheth, spelled in full. Now the path of chet crosses the abyss, joining the 5th Sephirah Geburah with the 3rd Sephirah Binah, the abode of Babylon. The tarot card attributed to Chet is the charioteer who bears the Holy Grail across the abyss where it becomes the cup of Babylon. There are other names and words unique to Thelemic magic, which we'll discuss in later chapters. As I explained earlier, these are not orthodox or even adequate definitions. Okay, remember, tomorrow we're skipping while Constance and I get our 2nd dose. And Monday we will start the Thelemic pentagram ritual number 1, the Star Ruby. So until then, continue. Start having a good weekend, everybody. And wish us luck too. Continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do without wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will.